Goodbye.
Bye. Good.
Hey, everybody. What's up? This is Yano Anaya coming to you from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And if you see the red button up there, I don't know which side it is on what you're looking at, that it says live, you're actually in the live. If you don't see the button, that means that you're actually watching the replay. So if you would, do me a favor and comment below that you actually are watching the replay. Yep. Just comment replay, or give me a 1 if you did nothing today. Give me a 2 if you actually had a barbecue today. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and chill out and wait for people to start to show up in this live. That's my dog saying hello. All right, let's see here what we got going on. We've got some really fun, well, can't say fun, but really interesting topics to talk about today. Memorial Day, that is today. And also, I like to kind of dive deep into some family traditions as well. See, I got one person in here. Do me a favor. Oh, what's up there? What's up, Danny? Ruthie, how you doing? All right. Do me a favor. I'm gonna pop over to Facebook real quick and make sure that people are seeing this to go over there. Events happening now. Yes. Do me a favor, Ruthie, and if you could share that link over into free Facebook page and the group. Let's see. Join event. Okay. Laureen, hi. How you doing? I'm going to jump back over to... Okay, great. So it's kind of a little lag between Facebook and YouTube. I'm gonna stick to YouTube because it's actually a lot easier for me to use. Cool. All right. So tell me, you guys, what did you do for Memorial Day? Anything special? Corey, what's up, Corey? How you doing? Cajun country, Louisiana. How's the weather out there today? Is it rainy? Hot? What's it looking like? Loren. Is that right? Did I get it right, Loren? Ah, cool. Awesome. Nice and hot, yeah. In Atlanta today, it was super stormy for about half of the day. Now it's clear skies and muggy and hot out here in Atlanta. Yep. Did nothing, waiting for payday. Right on. I'm gonna wait for a couple other people to get up in here. Let me shut my door quick. I'll be right back. All right. Nice and hot, yeah. Right on. So today, pronounced Lorien. Did I get it right this time? I hope. Pronounced Lorien. Got it. Right on. Lorien. Now I see it earlier. Cool. So, without using the internet, I want everybody to post if anybody from the cast was actually a vet, if you guys know. It's from the Lord and the Rings. Oh, right on. Yeah, you got it. Cheers. Right on. Hey, Leslie, what's up? So I'm asking a question. If anybody knows who was a vet without using Google, it's just off the top of your head. If you knew that anybody from the cast of A Christmas Story is actually a veteran? Let me know if you guys know. Just say yes or say no. If you know, just say yes. If you say no, then just write a no, and I'll disclose that here in a minute. Anybody have any veterans in their family? Yes, but I really don't know. Okay. Okay. Good. Yep. You know who the veteran is, or do you have veterans in your family, Ruthie? God, I guess there's a really big lag here. Yes, several. My great grandfather was on the beaches of Normandy. Wow. Yes, I have veterans in the family. Awesome. My father-in-law and uncles and cousins. No idea, Darren. Yes. My grandpa and brother-in-law is a vet. Okay, cool. Everybody's got veterans so far in their family. My father is a vet. My mother would not let me join, and I'll tell you about that story here in a little bit. Okay. Come back over here to you guys. Okay, so for those of you who have veterans that are in your family, besides Lorian, that your father was in Normandy, it's a long time ago, has service World War II through Vietnam, several family members. Wow. Anybody still have family that's besides Lorian that have passed? My father has passed as well, which he was a vet too. He was Navy. As a matter of fact, tell me, if what branch of the military your guys' family had served. Air Force, Navy, Army, Reserves, and Marines. Wow. Okay, got a lot of diversity in there. All branches except Coast Guard. Wow. And my father was in Navy. He was in Pearl Harbor on one of the ships. He was a gunny, so he was the one loading those big old bullets and those big old guns, and he survived. Right on, Leslie. Dad was in the Air Force. Cool. Now, let me ask you guys a question. This is going to be kind of a personal question. Is on those family members like birthdays or death days or like today, do you do anything? Like, is there a tradition that you and your family do together to commemorate or to be in honor of their service? Sorry about that. Well, it could be a good thing, Ruthie, that he didn't get drafted or wasn't accepted. Could be a good thing. Everything happens for a reason, right? So, do you guys have any family traditions or anything to that nature revolved around honoring their time with us? Right on. That's cool. All right, that's awesome. Danny used to barbecue until my Gmail went completely blind. Aw. Used to have training, but sadly not anymore. Okay. Um. So yeah, my father was not killed in battle, but he died a couple of years, well, several years later from colon cancer, and I was about 5.5 years old. And so, you know what? I always would just call my mom on this day, even though my mom is, she's 92, and it wells up a lot of emotions to bring back those memories. But I think that that tradition is something that I don't have very much time left to continue that with, because my father passed when I was 5.5. My mom is 92, so I really don't know how many more years I have left with celebrating this with her. So I do take advantage of that. We just sit and we converse, and because there's a whole relationship that my mom had with my dad before I was born, and I always get a lot of stories, and it's important for me to give her the space and hold space for her to be able to just be emotional and talk about her husband that passed. And I'll be honest with you, she's never remarried. She, in my experience of my mom and my dad passing, she never even had a boyfriend after my dad passed, and she was left with 3 kids to raise on her own. Mind you, myself and my sister were in show business, which kept her pretty busy, and also helped pay the bills, and she had to do that full time. So this day brings back a lot of really good memories for me. Um, and so, hey DJ, Joe Damiano, what's up? Tradition is important. Tears are healing. Yes, I lost my mom at a young age and always enjoy the stories too. Yeah. And I have so much love and respect for that, because they're not here forever, and taking the time and spending the time and, like, again, holding the space and being there for them to express their love for that individual that was a big part of their life, that brought obviously us or me into this life, is an important tradition. It really is. And I don't know what I'm going to do when that tradition is no longer there. Of course, I would do it with myself, but I'm the only one from my mom and my dad, so I'm kind of like left solo. And I think that you are so incredibly sharing. Thank you. Yeah, it's I mean, it's what life is, man. Is being real. I'm a real human being, just like everybody else, and um, you know, I never really understood a lot about that life because I was never really exposed to it as I was older. But my first experience of wanting to join the Marines was that I was in 11th grade, and going into ROTC, and like all my buddies, and I mean, like, God, it was like 16 of us that we all just kind of like came to the conclusion that when we graduated high school, we didn't want to get a job. Didn't want to go to college. We wanted to join the forces. And in that year, that's when Desert Storm started to happen. And my mom, when I told her, I was like, look, Mom, I'm considering really not going to college and not pursuing my acting career, and just joining the Marines with all my buddies so that we can run as a team together and do what we want to do for the country. And I can, gain a GI Bill, and I can go to school using them, and I can be taken care of, and I can have a career. And I guess because of, her experience with my dad, I don't know, but she was so just not for it. I guess that's because I was the baby, and the rest of the kids had already moved on, and I was the only one. And I would imagine, maybe, I don't know, that she felt like I would leave her too, and she wasn't ready to be alone. Maybe that was the case. I don't know. Never really asked her that question, but she talked me out of going, and so that was a big bummer. kind of let down a lot of my friends, and a couple of others decided not to go, but there was 12 of my really close friends that decided to go. And that's when it got really heated. And after their boot camp, they literally got shipped right over there. And within the first month, they were all killed. Like literally all came back in boxes. And that was, I don't know. I still have obviously a little trauma behind that, because my mom never said, "I told you so." She just kind of took it in and was like, "Thank God it wasn't you, or one of those were you." Um, and I never really understood later on in life why you would never, ever thank a vet for their service on this day. That's something that most people don't understand. They truly don't just understand the reasons why when you talk to a vet, or anybody that's in the military, you never, ever, ever thank them for their service on this day, because it is a day of remembering. It is a day of um, holding true to the values and honoring the loved ones that have passed. It's not a happy celebration day. Yeah, we do things to celebrate. To celebrate, I guess, like barbecues and things like that and getting together, but it is more of mourning, I guess, and still getting over the grief of the lost loved ones through that. So I had one friend, actually one out of the 12. His name is Ray Davis. He made it back and was a completely different person when he got out of the Marines, and he became an LAPD cop. And did that for a long time, and then became a NCIC for another decade, and then now he had became a sheriff, and so he is a retired sheriff out in Valencia, California, and he's I guess he's okay financially, but he still is a different person than what I remember us growing up. So holding these values of traditions is deep for me, and it's not just about that kind of tradition. It's having dinner every night with the family if you can, not being on your phones while you're eating dinner, or being on an iPad, or being disconnected to or from the family unit. Creating other traditions in family units is, for me, is very important. Something that I have the opportunity to do with my son. Um, and that's another reason, as to why I think that talking about it is something that is important, because you don't ever talk about people and their or people's families traditions. Yes, we can do holidays, but I mean, what's the most important holiday really of the year, right? The most important one, at least to me, is obviously celebrating your day of birth. Now, for me, now that I've gotten to this age, I kind of have a different perspective on what that means. For me, I wake up every morning thankful that I'm alive, being 52 years old, being present and being in the moment, and just being grateful that I have another day. So for me, it's like celebrating every day as another birth, so another birthday. And I think that happened to me because my father died at 50 years old, and I outlived him. Right. So I can't even imagine, being 48, 49, being diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 4, and you've got a newborn 5-year-old beautiful boy, and you've got 2 daughters that you're raising with your lovely wife from a prior marriage, and you're working your butt off, and you're doing everything you can to provide. And now this wall, this roadblock, this new present thing has taken over your life, and you don't have any answers. You don't have any solutions. There's nothing that anybody could do to help him back in the 70s, right? So, I mean, the only solution was what? Chemotherapy or radiation. And, my dad, well, at least my mom told me that, he decided to go through one round of chemo to see, how it would help. But he was already stage 4, so it was just killing him even faster. And so he just made that decision. You know what? I'm not going to die in this hospital. I want to die at home with my family. So, me now at the age of 50, I never ever comprehended or thought about what my dad's experience was of being diagnosed with cancer and building a life for his family, and then all of a sudden it being taken away, and how that impacted my mom. Because I was a kid. I was 5.5 years old. I was still in my little kid world, even though my dad was my world when he had died. It didn't really affect me or hit me very difficult. Well, my mom says a different story. My mom says that I became a recluse, and I said I was depressed and I didn't want to play, and I don't remember all that. I don't remember that. Literally, I think I just shut it off and closed it down, because I didn't really deal with my dad's death until I was 14. Because when I was 14, in the San Fernando Valley, with a successful career in acting, and this way of life in LA was hard. It was hard, and there was a lot of gang banging, a lot of violence, and a lot of drugs on the streets. And that's when it hit me that I didn't have a father. And so that was the first really time that I got to deal with that trauma of separation or abandonment issues at 14, because I was seeking that family. I was seeking that unit, because my mom, working her butt off, paying the bills. She would work all day, and I would go to school and on my own. Remember, this is back in the 80s. So remember, we're called the latchkey kids, being Gen X. And so I would get myself to school, and I would make my own food, and I would get home and do my own homework and make my own lunch. And I would actually make my own dinner. I would actually, a lot of the times, make dinner for my mom, because when she came home, she was exhausted from working all day. So, I remember those times where I just thought that was just the way of life. I didn't realize that we had a very poor, hard life at that time. Because my mom allowed me the opportunity to have a good childhood when I was successful in show business, which meant I did a lot of sports. I did a lot of things. She did everything that she could to provide the best experiences a child should have. And the most important experience that I always, always, always have for me was Christmas, because the two most important traditions that I have, well, actually there's 3, was Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving was like the time where the family came out from New York, from my dad's side, and it was like we had a house full of family and fun, and it was just cooking and food, and it was just so much richness of love, presence. And I only had like 2 or 3 years of remembering what that was like. And Christmas was magical, obviously, as a child, watching the building of the tree and doing the little advent calendar, right? All these like traditions that, families do for their kids to make it a special time of year. And that kind of just disappears as we get older, right? And, there's a lot about my life that I still keep private, but eventually you guys will most likely read about all those twists and turns and learning experiences that I had in a book that I'm probably going to write eventually. But there was some challenges in my life that caused me to not be able to raise my child because of battle custody issues. So now I have this opportunity where my son, which you guys remember back probably 3 months ago, I posted, it's a boy, right? And so I have a huge opportunity to be able to create these times and these experiences, which, this is going to be the first real Thanksgiving this year coming up to celebrate, and a first Christmas to be able to celebrate. And I have a lot of ideas of things to create some family traditions around that. So, and that goes across the board. Like, we should have things that we do with our kids on a daily basis outside of just waking up and rushing and making lunch and getting them off to school and going to work and coming back and doing homework and doing projects. And, outside of the normalcy of what life demands in this world that we live in today, we don't take the time outside of that to do things like create a special language like we did back in the day, like Pig Latin, right? Or create like, secret handshakes and leave little notes for each other everywhere. You know what I mean? The little things that we do for each other can be traditions that can just elevate our relationship with our loved ones and our family, right? So, that's this is something that really pours over into why this is so important to me. And it's not only important, but I'm talking about a Christmas Story family because it is an opportunity for me to have an impact in so many of your guys' life that I it's difficult for me to pass it up. There's a lot of the times in the past where it became getting in the feelings for sure. There's a lot of times in the past that, I just wanted to be left alone, and I didn't want to spend the energy and do this and do that. And then at the end of the day, when I look at 80,000 fans in this group and having conversations with you guys back and forth, and how much this movie, and remember, it's not just about the DVD or the movie or watching the movie or resonating with the scenes in the movie that makes so much sense, or like it recreates like our childhood. It's about what we do with that, and what we do with our kids, or what we do with our loved ones. And that feeling of hearing Gene Shepard's voice in the background and doing things with kids, because it's imprinting into their mind, of hearing it in the background and sitting and watching. And it's the bonding. For me, it's the bonding is what's so just rich, again, of that family unit of love, right? Because it all boils down to loving each other in a capacity that is outside of the norm, stepping outside of the comfort zone every single day of the grind, and really truly being present and being there. And this movie is a catalyst. It's a synergist to be able to do that. And I have such an opportunity to be able to catapult that and to boost that and to do things that nobody as a cast member, or even no other, movie with their fan base, has been able to successfully, in my thought process, do that outside of like Star Wars, right? Or, what's another, like E.T., right? Some of these old movies, like Star Wars, like literally, like Peter Billingsley and Christian Slater was in a Mattel commercial back in the late 70s, showing off their little figurines from Star Wars. Now that's really tailored towards kids. It's not really tailored towards educating or giving the family different traditions to do with each other around that movie. And that's something that I have been able to figure out. And this is something that has been a long time coming. And we have been really doing our best to understand how do we present that? How do we get this into your household, like a household common item like Tabasco or salt and pepper, or like your movie or your collectibles or your leg lamp, you know what I mean? Or your decoder pin. Like, what else can we do outside of what's already out there to be able to penetrate the family units bond and create more family traditions? And I believe we've done that. We just now got to get it into your household. So that's going to be the next mountain for us to climb, and to circle all the way back around to today. What today actually represents is there's many different traditions that we all do without even thinking about that, right? So they're kind of like rituals or traditions that we do. And so I think that, and I believe wholeheartedly that if the family unit is in need, or if fans truly want to participate, this is something that could be a game changer for their families, and just something super fun outside of, again, just the normal everyday grind. So thank you guys for expressing and sharing all your love, because it's important for everybody in the community to feel it, to kind of get past of just posting collectibles and posting things and talking about this, and yes, I saw that, and that's great. Like, I saw a post today. You met the whole cast of the 40th anniversary in Hammond. Right on, Mark. Right on. I'm glad you met everybody. Yes, we're all actually human beings that have huge hearts of compassion and an understanding that, this movie is special. And we have a responsibility to not only love on you guys, to show respect, but also just to be normal human beings and have fun and have conversations and just, be real. So I saw a post earlier today of somebody at the Daisy Museum with a huge red rider out front, right? I mean, yes, that's a great visual. But for me, it was like, wow, like, oh my God, like that has such an emotional pull for me. And I'm sure it does for everybody else. When everybody saw that, like, oh my God, look at that huge Daisy Red Rider. Like, we need one in every state. Like, just like, it's like that was just an amazing ability to bring back memories of the movie, right? Even though Daisy sells, Daisy rifles every single day, it represents to us the A Christmas Story, right? And when we talk about specific aspects of the movie, there's something magical that happens within us. And I hope that it has a magical expression within your body and in your emotions, because I have met, a lot of fans, and there's thousands of fans in here that I've had personal conversations around their traditions around watching A Christmas Story with their family had come to an end, and they just don't know how to get back to watching the movie because it's so emotionally charging about the loss of their loved ones. And there was a couple of fans that I literally gave the opportunity to talk about that, got on a phone call, talked about it, cried over it, did my best to bring back the loving memories, the fun memories, and allow those be present as they tried to continue to watch the movie, because what nobody wants is for something that special in somebody's life that comes to an end because of that loved one passes on, to stop that process, because that process is what also can continue their legacy, continue their traditions, and pass those traditions on, because that is a deep meaning within somebody when we lose somebody to anything, and have that kind of bond utilizing the A Christmas Story. I mean, it's rare, but it happens with millions of the fans. So Mark, you were the first group to come in. That's awesome. Right on. Yeah, that was a busy weekend, man. So Hammond was unexpected, meaning we didn't expect that many people. And the reason why is because all of the other events that we had went to last year, and for the 40th anniversary, there was 1,000 to maybe 2,000 people that showed up. Even the 40th anniversary in Cleveland was like 1,800 people. So, when it came to the event in Hammond, Indiana, we decided to do a little something different. Instead of making it like a con where there was just posts, cast is going to be here and this is what it's going to cost, and hopefully you can make it out. We decided to tell the story, and the story is what resonates. The story is emotionally charging. The story is Hammond, Indiana is the birthplace, and a lot of people don't even know that Gene Shepard, who is the author and creator, and Bob Clark, who is the director, Gene Shepard's home is Hammond, Indiana. The whole movie is based around Hammond, Indiana. The Christmas Story houses in Cleveland was supposed to be in Hammond, Indiana, not in Cleveland, but it kind of just fits their idea of what Gene Shepherd's house should be. So we told the story, and we expected maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people. Yeah, no. We had 12,000 registrants, and out of those 12,000, almost 7,000 people actually showed up, and we got to only see about 5,300 people that weekend because the venue wasn't big enough. We didn't expect that many people to come in. So Mark, man, I'm glad that you were the first one to get in, because a lot of people didn't, and a lot of people waited hours in the rain, in the cold. So that was awesome. That was a great experience, man. Really good learning journey, knowing that we may need a bigger venue next time around. Although the South Shore Convention Center and Visitors Authority, man, they were amazing. Love all of those people over there because they're huge fans. Indiana's a huge fan. The mayor, there's so many people that know that Gene Shepherd is from Indiana. So I just wanted to have that conversation with you guys. And you know what I'm gonna do is I want your guys' honest feedback. So we created something that has never been done before. And with this creation, we kind of went back to the roots. We had developed a relationship with Ruben Fried. And if you guys don't know who Ruben Fried is, he was the art director who developed the leg lamp. He created the Santa's Mountain. He did a lot of the stagehand stuff. Like, he was the art director. And knowing that he is the one that created the leg lamp, we had reached out. Just, we want to accumulate as many people from this movie as possible to share their stories, because yes, the movie can live on in the household, but now we've got a podcast, and now I'm doing lives. We've got this group, and we're kind of accumulating everybody and anybody that had anything to do with the movie to be able to participate and leave some kind of digital footprint for their kids or for the fans to be able to go to one place like the podcast and listen to stories of the iconic people that were a part of this movie behind the scenes and also in front of the camera. So Ruben Fried, we reached out to him. It was just like an honor. I mean, a super honor to meet this guy who was really close friends with Bob Clark and got to know Gene Shepherd and worked a lot with Bob Clark in other movies as well, because he was very well known in his talent for what he did. And just have conversations about what it was like and what was the experience like, and why did you guys create it the way you created it, and why is it that every leg lamp that's out there is not his design. And so that kind of got to a point where he was not disappointed. Well, I guess you can say disappointed, yeah, because his creation, he's never been really given the respect or the honor of being that person who created this iconic thing that's actually not his design. And so that was heartbreaking to hear, and heartbreaking to listen to a story about what and why, and how just other people, fans, anybody that didn't really have anything to do with the movie, was entrepreneurs, and they decided to get mannequin legs, and they decided to buy cheap shoes, and put a leg lamp that was similar, or a lampshade that was similar to the movie, and put it together and then sell it. And so that kind of really broke his heart that nobody really has his original design. So that had me and my business partner kind of hurt deeply over a long period of time as to what can we do. Like, is there anything that we can actually do for the fans and for Ruben that would help him and his family kind of solidify his own legacy? And so what we did is we partnered up with him, and we said, you know what? We want to bring your design to life. We want your own personal touch to the iconic leg lamp because it is his. And so that's coming, which is super exciting. And it's actually here, to be honest with you. We're doing all the pre-sales because, as you guys probably know, the whole wheels of what it takes to get this to your house takes a lot, and we're doing it, and it's happening. So, yeah, you can spread the word. I love it. He loves it. I think it's something that's needed. Um, just because, right? Just because of this iconic movie that we all share. So, if you guys want to learn more about that, just give me a thumbs up. You know what I mean? And I'll drop a link in there for you guys to listen and read to his story and read what we have. Because, in my opinion, and the entire cast is involved in this, it's going to create something that is obviously an experience above all else when it comes to this movie. And penetrating into your life. Super exciting stuff for all of us, but it takes a lot of work on our side. So we are grateful that you guys are open. We are grateful for your feedback. Um, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put in this link in here. And do me a favor though. This is something that's really important. Is try to find some privacy. Put some headphones on. Try not to just haphazardly listen because this is history in making. And when you're a part of that, for us, when you truly are dedicating some time and some effort and really understanding what it is that we did, you are becoming part of helping this legacy stay alive. And that is one of our missions at a Christmas Story family, is not only uniting everybody together, but also to solidify the ability to have another avenue outside of just watching the movie for people to be a part of making this legacy long term, way after we're gone. Right, that's my point. I'm 52 and I'm not going to be here for about several, maybe 5 more decades of my life. And we as the cast want this to live far after us. For example, Bob Clark is no longer with us. Gene Shepard is no longer with us. Melinda Dillon, Darren McGavin, right? These iconic people as part of this movie are no longer with us. And to be able to cherish that and carry their legacy in your own way of creating and doing things with your family, creating more traditions with the Christmas Story cast and utilizing the movie at the same time. It's just this going to be this big fun energy thing over the course of a period of time. So I'm going to drop that link in there for you guys now. There's that link. So hi Megan, how you doing? Yes, Megan. Oh my God, if you guys have never seen Megan's son, he is a replica of Governor. He literally is. He's amazing. He loves the character. Um, yeah. So right on. And anybody else who is watching this replay, I ask you truly to go through our site, go through what we've created for you. Take it serious. Give us feedback, because it's important. This is an important thing that we are doing, and this is something that's going to last. We believe for a very long time. So you can be on the ground floor. Of course, we give the first 1,000 people a very special piece to hold as a collectible. And it's just so much more. God, I could talk about it all day long. There's just so much more that's happening with this. So, yes. Who else do we have in here? I'm sorry, I totally have missed anybody else. Mark, where are you from, Mark? If you're still with us, what part of the country? What city did you come from? Lorianne, where are you from as well? What city do you live in? And you're welcome. It's my pleasure. I know where you're at, Ruthie. I know where you're at, Megan. Hey, Mandy. What's up? DJ Jammin. What state are you from again? And everybody else who's watching this replay, again, please do me a favor and post on this replay where you're from, because I'd like to know where you guys are from too. Okay. And you know what? I think I'm going to have to go live more often. Would you guys like me to go live more often? Because we've got 10 of you in here and there's 80,000 people that don't know I'm here. I think I need to go live more often just to accumulate more fans to have conversations and just to be here for them. Do you think that would be a good idea, you guys? Oregon. Yep, Danny, I know where you're at too. Yep. Yes, Ruthie. Okay. So, what I want to ask, yes, Yano, yes, get those algorithms going. Yes. All right, cool. I'll do that. I want to ask one question to everybody, even if you're watching the replay. What is one of your family traditions, regardless, I don't care what holiday it is, that's important to you? What is one family tradition that you still hold on to that's important to you? I want to see it. Elf on the Shelf. Yes. Okay. Inspired by the movie, of course. Chinese food on Christmas. Okay. Awesome. That's amazing. Christmas Eve. Watching the movie. Advent calendars. So, Mandy, did you guys enjoy me doing that advent calendar last year? Because I still have the one that I promised to give away. I think I'm going to do another one this year, depending on, because last year was crazy busy traveling for all these events. Depending on what we got going on this year, I may do the advent calendar again, and then obviously autograph it and try to get everybody else to do it and send it out to a lucky winner for that year. Okay, awesome. That's funny, Megan. That's amazing. Okay. Huh. I love that idea. That's great stuff. Okay, cool. All right, you guys. Now, I'm going to open up the floor for Q&As. Is there anybody that has a specific question that they would like to ask me before I go make some dinner? Oh, you know what? I have something. Who's my favorite volunteer? Do I ever go to Pigeon Forge? Don't forget. Yeah, that's right. Dude, I was just remembering that, Lauren. So, um, I do, Megan. Actually, I've been to Pigeon Forge twice. Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg, in Tennessee. And it's amazing. And yes, my favorite volunteer. I don't like to play favorites. Sorry. Yeah. So this is what I got um from this information. So where did I put that? All right. So the year of service was in the United States Army. In the Signal Corps, he was a technician at the fifth grade, which is called T5, from 1942 to 1944, and that was Gene Shepard was actually in the military. So um, today is Memorial Day, and it serves as a time to reflect on our ultimates or those sacrifice made by our fallen heroes, paying tributes to their courage, their valor, and their selfishness. It is a day to visit cemeteries, lay wreaths and flags at grave sites, and participate in memorial ceremonies to honor the memory of those who gave their lives in service to our nation. So, thank you guys for spending the time with me today. I truly appreciate that. And so, yeah, it was. I thought maybe Bob had, but it is Gene Shepard. And as a matter of fact, somebody had posted it in their circle that there was a picture on the wall in A Christmas Story Christmas that Ralphie Parker served as well, which I didn't even catch that in the movie when I saw it 3 times already. So that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Michelle Carpenter. Yes, she caught that. So that was amazing. You're welcome. All right. It was a pleasure. You'll be out in Pigeon Forge next week. Next week, I'm actually going down to Florida to visit my mama. Next week is the time to be able to spend some quality time with my mom. And I might be doing a podcast with her just because I've never had that experience with her. And I believe that having the opportunity to capture these moments for not only me, not only for my son, not only for the rest of the world to see is important, right? So, yeah, right on. All right, you guys, I love you. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks again. Bye.